Hello and welcome back to Andy's Cavern Unboxing. How we all doing tonight, guys? All well, I hope. Well, Fabio Wardley, eh? The real life Rocky. Well done, Fabio Wardley. Proved my prediction wrong. I think I said Parker would win probably 8, 9 or 10. I think I put £3 on number 8 and £1 on number 9 and number 10. But I'd also put a fiver on Wardley at 5 to 1 for win by KO, TKO or DQ. So I put these bets on weeks ago, so I think you got better odds then. The odds kind of narrow down, but to be honest I didn't really mind who won. It was a brilliant fight, but I think it was marred by the stoppage, you might say. Yeah, a lot of people not happy about it. They'll be fair to Parker, very gracious in defeat, and as always, big respect between the two fighters, wasn't there? There's no doubt about that. Both gentlemen of the sport, you might say. But what about the referee? He could. He's got a bad track record, hasn't he? For making bad decisions. I think he let, on the other side of the coin, he let Josh Warrington taking an absolute pounding against the Mexican guy, whose name escapes me at the moment. I think he got dropped in the 4th, didn't he, and got absolutely, he was kind of out on his feet till he got stopped in the 9th. And you might think, well, for me, Parker still had his wits about him. He maybe wasn't throwing enough back, but he was protecting himself. They say protect yourself all the time. It was like, you might think he was, some people maybe think he was letting Wardley punch himself out a bit maybe, and thought Wardley was maybe going to gas, and then he would come back and count. He had thrown a couple of punches. Just before that, I've watched the replay numerous times, and a lot of the punches missed. I think it was a left hook knocked Parker's glove away. I think it was a right hand kind of missed. The left hook knocked Parker's glove away. Another right hand missed, and then the ref jumped in. There was some punches connecting, but not all of them. Wardley's a bit wild, but I tell you what, he's some finisher. He can pile the pressure on. Just before that, I was thinking he's looking a bit tired, isn't he? But Howard Foster's the name on everybody's lips, isn't it? Which is a shame, because it was an absolutely brilliant heavyweight fight, and for it to be marred by that, you'd also, a lot of folk might request a rematch because of that. But the winner's got to fight Usyk, all being well. So that's Wardley Usyk next, the early part of next year, I believe. So how's Wardley going to get on against Usyk? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Wardley keeps proving everybody wrong, doesn't he? But as far as the stoppage goes, I heard Big John Fury saying it should have been stopped 10 seconds earlier, the man could take damage and all this. Well, ask yourself, was Parker as badly hurt as Fury was in the 9th round of the first Usyk fight? And that didn't get stopped, did it? What did Big John Fury think about that? Did he think that should have been stopped then? That, in my eyes, should have been stopped, because Fury didn't know where he was. He was completely out on his feet, rolling about all over the place. Yet for me, Parker still had his wits about him. But there's no point in crying over spilt milk. But that's what happened. So we can't ignore the fact that happened. We've got to look at things impartially, don't we? If the same had happened the other way, it'd be the same. If Wardley had been stopped prematurely, we'd still be complaining about the ref. So it's no Wardley's fault, and it's no Parker's fault. You've got to blame the ref. Well, you could say Parker maybe should have been thrown a bit more back, but he was protecting himself, wasn't he? And he wasn't. For me, his eyes looked clear. He had been caught with some heavy shots, but he was kind of riding the storm out. And he's proven he's got a good chin, because Wardley was caught him clean a few times, and Didn't seem to be going anywhere. Though he was rocked earlier in the fight when he spit his gum shield out, didn't he? Or it came out, I don't know if Wardley's team weren't happy about it at the time, were they? So, but all in all, a good fight. Was it a better fight than people anticipated? I thought it would be a good fight anyway, but I only really seen that. I didn't see any of the undercard really. I didn't have time because, as you know, I have a very busy life, so I can't always do the things I want to do. But I would have liked to watch all the undercard, but it wasn't to be, and I've not had time today to look over it. So I'll maybe do that through the week at some point. But definitely a good fight to watch with a questionable ending, you might say. So I know all the people I know that watch boxing, that stay locally to me, they were all raging about Stoppage. So we'll wait and see what happens. Perhaps the rematch might happen after the Usyk fight. How's that going to go? You've obviously got to favour Usyk because not only a generational great, but I think he will be seen as an all-time great, and he's seen all styles, whether it be an amateur or professional. He's beaten all comers, hasn't he? But Wardley's kind of proven that you don't really need much an amateur pedigree to go far in the sport, do you? He has. He's like a. I don't think Rocky Marciano had much an amateur career. I'd have to look that up. Something in my head tells me he didn't have much an amateur career, Rocky Marciano. But could Wardley be the new Rocky Marciano? The modern day Rocky, eh? He's kind of like that. It's kind of like a fairy tale story. And if he was to beat Usyk, wow, what would that? That would be probably the greatest performance ever by a British boxer. Could you say that? Possibly. Definitely be right up there anyway, wouldn't it? From where he's come from and his lack of experience, theoretically. But because he's unorthodox, that's to his benefit. He's probably a difficult guy to face. And before this, I was asking how really good was Justice Hooney, you know. But I think Justice Hooney's performance actually looks even more decent, because I would have rated Parker higher than Justice Hooney. But there was all this noise about Parker's weight beforehand. But I don't really think that was an issue, the weight. He could have probably been a bit quicker if he was lighter. They both seem to be tiring later in the fight. It's not like Parker was gassing out early, and he was the one throwing a lot of combinations, and I probably had him about 3 rounds up at the time of the stoppage. I think round about that, 2 or 3 rounds up. I think Carl Frampton's card that was on the screen, I kind of agreed with that. I don't always agree with what they're saying, but it would be difficult not to agree with that at the time. I've not watched the fight completely back again. I probably will do, kind of reassess it. But at the time, it was I definitely had. I'm sure it was 3 rounds I had Parker up by. So he really just had to stay on his feet to the end of the fight, didn't he? If my scorecard was reflecting what the judges were, I haven't heard what the judges' scorecards were. I'll have to have a look back at that, see if it's available online. But it will be. It'll be on BoxRec, won't it? Anyway, that was that. But I still got a 30 quid win off the bookies, put my fiver, so I can't really complain too much. But as I say, it didn't really bother me who won, but they were both nice guys, aren't they? So I wasn't really picking against any of them, but I did think Parker would win with his more experience and whatnot. So that's what it is, eh? But onwards and upwards for Fabio Wardley. What's next for Parker? Well, perhaps he could have the Dubois fight that was supposed to happen in Saudi. That'd probably be a good shout for Parker, but we'll have to wait and see. They're both coming off the back of defeats, so it might be a good match for them. What next for Howard Foster? We'll see how things move forward. Are these guys ever held to account for making questionable decisions? I don't believe they are. Not properly anyway, but Yeah. Oh well. Well, that's all for tonight. For the now, and you'll probably see me later on. We'll catch up with you later on. For now, it's good night from me and good night to you. Say bye. Don't forget, like and subscribe, Andy's Cavern. Okay, guys. Till next time. Take care. Cheers.